Alright, this is 6.3, Lesson 1, Simplifying Complex Rational Expressions. Alright, now hopefully you've seen this before, and this won't be the first time you've seen it, but let's just go back to the basics. The slash that you have represents division. So really, we have A over B divided by C over D. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite it so it's more manageable to visually see. So this becomes A over B, and then I'm going to use the old school division symbol, that's the line with the two dots, C over D. Alright, so now, as we should have remembered from previous algebra classes, actually arithmetic, you never divide with fractions. If you have fractions and you have a division symbol, you're going to rewrite it. So, instead of having a division, we're going to make this multiplication, and what we do is we flip the very next thing. So this becomes A over B times D over C. And very specifically, we replace the division, and the very next thing, we take its reciprocal. In other words, we flip it. Alright, as you can recall, anytime you have fractions, you're going to multiply straight across. So this becomes A times D divided by B times C. Now, hopefully you've seen this shortcut before, but in essence what I've done with this division, multiplying by the reciprocal, and then the simplification is I've taken the very top and the very bottom of my complex fraction, that's a fraction divided by a fraction, and I multiply them together. In other words, I took A and multiplied it by D. And then I took the middles, the C and the B, and I multiplied those together. In other words, I get on the bottom B times C. And that's the shortcut, using the bottom with the top and the mids with the mids. Let's go ahead and look at the next example and do the same thing. So example 2 is 4x over 45 divided by 2x divided by 25. Notice all the divisions? That's why it's called a complex fraction or a complex rational. So instead of rewriting it out the long way and going through all these steps, I'm going to take the bottom and multiply it by the top, and the mids and multiply those together. In other words, I'm going to get 4x times 25 divided by 45 times 12x. Now, why didn't I go ahead and multiply the 4 and the 25 to get 100, and the 45 and the 12 to get, well, I don't know what I'd get. Well, I'm going to rip it apart anyway. Remember what we've been doing for the entirety of the chapter is we've been expanding any of the numbers we have so that we can easily cancel out the top and the bottom. So this is, on top, instead of 4x, we have 2 times x. Instead of 25, we have 5 times 5. 45 is 3 times 5, and 12 is 2 times 3. And then we need the x. Alright, now just cancel out. Whatever is both on top and the bottom goes away. Alright. Well, I don't have any 3's on top, so I'm not going to do that. I do have a 2, I have a second 2, I have an x, I have a 5, and let's see, that leaves me on top with a 5. On the bottom I have a 3, and a 3 to get 27, and then the x, that's it. So we're just left with 5 over 27. Alright, now make sure to watch the next two videos as I do the more complicated things. This is just to get us used to the basics, and especially that shortcut of the bottom multiplied by the top and the middle multiplied by the middle.